Friends, welcome to our channel, Dr. Ram Punyani English. In today's episode of this channel, we'll be talking about Akhand Bharat. Now, currently we are seeing that on one hand, religious processions are being taken out with armaments, with DJ, loud music, and abusive slogans against minorities, particularly Muslims. These processions are marching towards masjids, marching in the narrow lanes of Muslim areas, giving provocative slogans, and lot of violence is resulting. So this is something very worrisome. And in the same scenario, we saw recently that the chief of this politics, the Hindu nationalist politics, the politics led by Mohan Bhagwat, he came out with his word that in 10-15 years, India will become Akhand Bharat. Now, this word has been being used occasionally by these circles to mean a extended territory which includes Afghanistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Sikkim, Tibet, Myanmar, and Ceylon. So this is all their concept, that this is what we were and this is what India should become. Now the boundaries of the country currently have been determined. They are recognized by United Nations, and once we got freedom, there was a debate in the Constituent Assembly about the name for this country, and with broad consensus, 3 words came for consideration. One was Hindustan, second was Bharat, third was India. And people ruled out Hindustan for various reasons, religious connotations and all that. And they chose the word, the constitution makers chose the word India, that is Bharat. Now this Jawaharlal Nehru in his book Discovery of India writes that whenever I am traveling all over India, I see the spirit of Bharat. So mostly this terminology accepted by the Constituent Assembly represents what Nehru is articulating in the book, India, that is Bharat. Now, can we try to have the boundaries which some of the kings ruling this part had in the past times? We must know that kingdoms are different, pastoral society is different, and boundaries of kingdoms are different. They cannot be equated to boundaries of today's nation states. Forget the boundaries of different dynasties. Even within single dynasties, there are different kings who had different boundaries of their rulership. And that was not a country, that was a kingdom. It was a king versus the subjects. So to go to that type of idea that, oh, Afghanistan was a part of India, Ceylon was a part of India, Myanmar was a part of India, all this is a sort of, reminds me of Hitler's policies before Second World War, where he started attacking the neighboring countries on the ground that sometime they were part of Germany. Now, as far as India is concerned, the earlier kingdoms we saw, then we saw colonial period, and then we saw India after independence. There have been various names associated with this, and these, some of the names are related to Sindhu region, like one of the original names has been Meluha, which basically talks about Indus Valley and the area around Indus. This is one of the mention which one finds in Mesopotamia and other parts of the world. Now this is one. Then the other word which we see is Aryavart. Aryavart, this comes in our Puran and various holy books. And Aryavart basically meant the region from sea to the ice. That particular broad area was referred to that. Then there is also a area which is mentioned in Manusmriti, And in Manusmriti, this particularly word also Aryavart word finds there. But Manusmriti Aryavart means the area from Himalayas to Vindhyas. So of course then we also find the mention of Bharat for this area. And Bharat stands for the king who established this dynasty here, and in his name, in his honor, the area was called Bharat. In Jain literature, it is also referred to as Nabhi Bharat. Nabhi Bharat, Nabhi Varsh. Now this Jain literature points out these names because Nabhi was grandfather of Bharat. So in that name also Nabhi Varsh is also used for this. And another word which was popular was Jambudvip. Jambudvip again referred to the subcontinent, South Asian region, and probably this name Jambudvip was there because there are too many jamun trees at that time. So this was probably called Jambudvip. So this is that various names have come, but different dynasties have used different names, and the word Hindustan was used particularly by Mughal dynasty for the area which they were ruling, for South Asia as such. Even the earlier dynasties, the biggest dynasty we see, biggest area we see was that of Emperor Ashok, and one other king, other dynasty which ruled much of the western Afghanistan and the area around that, Kandahar, Kabul and all that. So that the word which was used was Jambudvip also for this. So there are various names which have been evolving. Now all these names were considered, but to say that this belongs to one country, the present notions of country are very different from the notions of emperors and the kings who had particular boundaries depending on their military might and depending on other things. So it is totally wrong to equate today's India with the regions which were ruled by one of the kings particularly, and or which are mentioned in one of the Puranas or Manusmriti or books from Mesopotamia or Greece which refer to it in different names. Now to think that we should have a broader country by imposing ourselves on others is a totally aggressive idea. We should never indulge on using things which may sound infringing on the sovereignty of the neighboring nation. But of course, the point I see is this, that we are spending a lot on our military to defend our boundaries, and we are depriving ourselves a lot from commerce, health, tourism and other things because of the present rigidities of the boundaries and the visa regulations which accompany them. So I definitely appreciate what happened in Europe, where different countries of Europe gradually loosened up their borders. Visa was single, visa was there all over the Europe. Then people were traveling from one country to the other, having a single currency, and that made their life much easier. This is something, the direction in which the whole world should go. Gradually broadening the area of cooperation, respecting the sovereignty of other countries, and being respected for your own sovereignty. That I think is the way for cooperation. We also saw the beginning of this cooperation in South Asian region in the form of SAARC, South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, something whatever be the full form, I am forgetting that. So what was the idea? Idea was that we'll make the laws of travel, the visa restrictions easier, so that trade, commerce, health, educational facilities can be easily shared by people from one country to the other. And that, I must say, was a very big positive step taken by the South Asian countries, and the heads of the states were meeting in one or the other country very frequently, trying to exchange their problems, trying to shoot down the problems which were coming in the way of broader cooperation. And that is the way we should go about. To talk that that region belonged to Emperor Ashok, or that region belonged to another Hindu king, so it should be brought back to India's fold, is totally an idea which is not warranted. We cannot impose ourselves as a religious community, as a sovereign nation on other nations. All are recognized by United Nations. It should be the ruling thing for our whole world. And by developing United Nations, developing the global cooperation, we can go towards a brighter future where military expenditure on defending the boundaries is cut down. More funds are diverted for people's welfare. More emphasis is given to the human rights of the weaker sections of society. That is the area in which we should be going. Of course, there are a lot of words which have been there, different regions, Sapta Sindhu, then Nabhivarsh, Bharatvarsh, Meluha, Aryavart, Jambudvip. All these words have been used for different regions. But at no point of time there was a total bringing of Sri Lanka, for example, or Myanmar, or Tibet under the rulership of a single king. Even if it was there, it doesn't matter today, because the national boundaries and those countries and those people do respect their own sovereignty. Who are we to infringe on the sovereignty of others? Who are we to impose our ideas or religion or other values on the others? If we respect others, others will respect us. And it is through that method that a broader world, a more peaceful world, a more peaceful region will come about. And as a region, we can develop much better if we have more friendly attitude towards our neighbors. And as Atal Bihari Vajpayee said, you can change your friends but not your neighbors. So you have to live with your neighbors. And some religions tell us, love thy neighbor. Our own Vedas tell us the beautiful phrase called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is based on mutual respect for all the people around us. And that is the only way we can go ahead in developing our country in a better direction. So we should not be talking about words which others can take offense of, and we should talking about love, peace, harmony, amity and friendship with all our regional friends, and they should be our more reliable allies than anybody else. Thank you very much. If you have liked the video, please subscribe to our channel, do forward it, and look forward to our notifications for future videos. Thank you very much.